phrase we stole from our friends at Social Text. Eat your own dog food. Really, really important. Lead by example. Pull your leadership in. Get them behind it. Doesn't matter if it's later on in the process, just get them involved. We used our wiki to allow our leaderships to kind of experiment with blogging in a safe place. So they started off doing their own blogs on the wiki. It's not public. It's a relatively safe arena. Just got them used to the idea of sharing their opinions, written down. A lot of our senior people do a lot of speaking. They're not used to so much behaviourally, actually kind of, doing the blogging thing. So that was really good training ground. And this put it on the wiki. Get used to being a broken record. I repeat myself even, I don't know, five times a day. Put it on the wiki, put it on the wiki. You've got to be religious about it. And it sounds like it's haranguing, but it's kind of not. And you become a bit like a kind of benevolent school teacher, and eventually people learn. So now I see emails go out, and if people request, they will actually write kind of dutifully, I've already checked on the wiki, so that's good. That's really good. It's a fine line though. Know your users. Again, this was our starting with our users and working back, looking at the tools that they already used online that they loved, and trying to capture what it was. So our profile pages that we do for everybody, we actively encourage people to talk about the stuff they do outside of work, because that's the stuff that they care about as well. We have a big page on the wiki that is all about cats, and I encourage that because cats aren't necessarily really important to our business. However, people love their cats, and in the act of going to the cat page, editing it and uploading an image, they've already taught themselves about half an hour's worth of training that I don't need to do now, so that they can get their cat. Brilliant. We have the cat thing has exploded. Make it real. We do a lot of hand-holding. Again, this comes back down to the gardener role. We will create people's profile pages for them. It's very much the kind of tactic that you see on Wikipedia and the tactic that you see on, the Daily Mail does this brilliantly. At the bottom, when it encouraged comments, it says, nobody has contributed to this article, why not share your thoughts? Which is very well pitched at their audience, but it's hand-holding, saying, come on, just a little nudge. So lots of that. And, yes, it is a bit tedious, it's repeating yourself again. But you don't need to know. It's not training. Like, it's not an intranet, it's not training. Words like training, intranet, course, 3 hours in the diary for training. People turn up with a bad attitude. Who can blame them? It's hard work. It's stuff it's out of their time, it's out of their day-to-day job. It's like, oh God, what do I do? Don't call it training. Call it an introduction. Because again, the wiki is your friend, and we are introducing you to it. We keep these introduction sessions short, sweet, informal. We try to do them one-to-one or 1 to 2 people. Any more than that, and you're preaching. At the user's desk, and again, tailored to their specific needs. This is obviously really hard with new starters, but that's where the casting things come in. So we sit down with them and get them to go through their profile and get them to talk about what projects they really want to work on, what kind of stuff they really want to do within the business. And then my computer shut down. Thank you. It'll come back on. This might be a good stage to say, any questions?
How many cats have you got on your cat page?
Show us your cat.
Show us your cat. Show us the cat.
Oh, yeah, please.
If it comes back on, you can see the cat.
Okay.
But only if it comes back on.
You're saying we. How many is we? We do this, we do that.
We as in the company, or
no, we as in the people who are making the wiki sticky.
Well, primarily it's the wiki gardener, but it's also the wiki warriors. And increasingly, what's happened is you'll find that about 6 to 8 months into having one of these in your organisation, with certain people in certain roles, you'll hit a tipping point, and the light goes on in their head, and they realise that this will help them with their job. And then they become Wiki warriors, because it's saving them work. So a really straightforward example of that is, we have all the information about how to, basically a troubleshooting guide to our finance system. So kind of this is how you do expenses, this is how you do this, how you do that. All that kind of stuff used to be handled by picking up the phone and going, help. Now it's on the wiki. That aspect of their job has pretty much gone, which is great, because it means they can get on with making people pay us. So, I mean, it kind of follows, we were very, I think, from the start, we were really, really honest with ourselves. Again, going back to the New model, we kind of knew that we were never going to turn everyone in the company into a wiki warrior or even a wiki editor. We just knew that because it just doesn't happen. You just have to be, I think you have to be realistic. However, what we did aim for was everyone in the company using it at some stage for something. And even if their interaction with it is cats, we know that it will grow because they can see how easy it is to use. Hand holding, I think I've talked about that quite a lot. And that's it. Do you want to see the cat?
Yes, please.
Any other questions? Apart from why didn't you switch the plug on when you started?
Do you have any? I mean, how do you assess the success of this? Do you have any kind of formal process, like usage reports or contributing reports, or is there any kind of like management checklist of what success is, or is it just a qualitative thing?
Completely honestly, we underwent a big reorganisation about 6 months ago. The initial plan was we were split into, I think, 4 distinct disciplines, and what we were going to do was basically run usage reports for every single discipline and use that as a kind of competitive thing within the business and kind of say, do you know what, the guys at Capability, they're really nailing this wiki thing. I think you guys over at, it was called Inventing, you guys over at Inventing, you're really not pulling your weight. And, kind of tapping into the inherent competitiveness within companies. We've since reorganised, and so we basically need to rethink how we're judging its performance. I mean, in terms of my responsibility for it, the next stage is everything on here in terms of our IP, which as you can see here, these are the final presentations from client projects, our case studies and proposals. These two here, particularly this one, the idea is that the wiki is the tip of our IP iceberg. That's a really rubbish analogy. But the idea is that this is the best in class. So everything that's on here is the real deal, yeah? And everything else that's floating around on the server, you can safely say is work in progress. And one of my objectives at the moment is to get this kind of best in class. I think a similar thing is, what do they call it on Wikipedia when you get a gold star for your article and you say, this one really rocks. That's what we're aiming for.